Guys, it's literally like boiling hot in here. I can you not, it's like 32 degrees Celsius. Hey guys, it's Melissa here, and today I am going to show you part 2 of #StudyWithMel. And yeah, for those who have just came here and part 2 of Study with Mel is your first time, then go ahead and click on the card right up here, because that's going to bring you to part 1, which is about preparation tips before you start an exam or a test. So yeah, and for part 2 today, we are going to focus on 1, exam tips, and 2, we're going to focus on things you should avoid. So that's like during exam and during preparation. So yeah. I think that's it, and without further ado, let's get on with the video. Guys, I am so sorry if the lighting keeps changing. I'm using natural light, and yeah, it's looking a bit weird right now. I hope this lighting is a little bit better. So the first tip I recommend when you do a test or an exam is to always go for your first preference. Have you ever looked back on your test and then you find this question and you're not sure between 2 questions, and you've already circled the answer, but then you're second thinking it and you're thinking, oh, I should change to a different answer? Well, I feel like your first answer might be the most correct, and even if you're unsure, just stick with that first preference. So the amount of times that I've chosen a second preference over the first preference and I got it wrong has been so annoying. So from my life experience, I am going to tell you, please just choose your first preference. It's most likely going to be correct, and at least you're not going to get annoyed with yourself. Unless you are 100% sure that the second answer is definitely correct, then I would choose the second preference. But other than that, go for the first preference. Second tip is to go through your exam paper. So it's good to know what questions you are going to deal with through the exam before you start the test, so that your brain is mentally prepared for it. Because if you don't, then you're going to go on a question and you're going to be like, reading it and be like, what? Okay, the third tip is actually a pretty helpful tip that's given me a few marks, okay? And this is a multiple choice type strategy. And if you're stuck on a question, look for the 2 most similar answers. So once you look at those answers, look at the other answers and see if there's any more similarities to those answers, if that makes sense. So yeah, if one answer has more similarities than another answer, then that answer would most likely be correct. So yeah, if you're stuck in a question that's multiple choice, try doing this method, because most likely it's gonna work. I'm not saying this is 100% gonna get you marks, but at least it's a higher chance. So my 4th tip is to guess. If what I told you does not work, because not all multiple choice answers are going to be similar in any way, so if that doesn't work, try guessing. At least guessing will give you a 1 in 4 chance. Try guessing, because it's better to give yourself at least a possibility of getting right than getting an impossible possibility. Okay, there's one more exam tip I have, and that's for me during maths, and it's not going to work for everyone. I'm just going to put it out there, but working the paper from back to front might help you. I'll tell you why. Because usually, for my school especially, test papers with the most marks tend to be at the back of the exam, and if you start with the questions that are worth the most marks, then you're most likely to have so much time left at the end, because all they are is just very short answered questions. So if you work with the ones with most marks, at least you're spending more time and you're most likely to get it correct and not rush it at all than at the front of the paper. So yeah, that's just another tip. Okay, now moving on to things you should avoid at all costs. I am not going to be 100% correct with you, but I feel like highlighting things isn't the best way to study. Yes, I did say that, but sometimes they are. I'm not going to say highlighting with everything is going to be horrible or like it's not going to work at all, it's not really the best way to study if you're going to highlight. Sometimes when you highlight things that are important, it tends to be that the whole paragraph or the whole textbook is just important. So you tend to just highlight everything, and when you highlight everything, let's be honest, that's kind of pointless. So if you're wanting to pick important points, try put it in dot point form and summarize those points instead of highlighting. I think that's the best way to go, and also you're not leaving your brain with too many words to remember. So yeah, don't highlight at all unless it actually does help you, then highlight. The second tip to avoid at all costs is to avoid distractions. Now, I think this is an obvious one, to be honest, but to avoid distractions is a good way to go, because when you go into the class, make sure you find a seat where you're going to be next to someone that you know will not cheat and is not going to be noisy or going to distract you from doing your exam, because that seating is very important in my opinion, because that really determines how well you're going to do your test. And second of all, this happens to me all the time, and I've explained it to most of my friends actually, and that is, please do not play music before you start an exam, especially if you're a person that likes to sing in their head or hum to things. Not a good idea, because you're not going to do well in your exam. Trust me, I've had this experience, so let me tell you. So in year 7, I might have told you on this channel before, but anyway, I'm going to say it again. In year 7, I had a maths exam, and it was really important because it defined which class we were going to be in the next year. So stupid me was singing Disney songs in my head, and that completely wrecked my whole exam, because I did terrible in that test, and I feel like I could have improved that test if I didn't have any Disney songs at all. So failed that test. So yeah, if you have a song in your head before a test or an exam, try doing this method. So Matilda, which is one of my best friends, taught me this method, and she's like, count numbers in your head. So go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, over and over again, and like concentrate on those numbers, so that especially for maths tests, it's going to be helpful. If you're going to do English and it's going to be an essay that you have to remember or a few words, recite those words in your head. Okay, so when preparing, it's not the best if you're going to write long sentences in your notes. So what I like to do is to write key points or main ideas, so that you're not overloading your head with too much information, like I said, and too many words, because your brain works better when it's in small chunks. So the more information you get out of just these main points or one word is gonna be dramatically significant to your memory. Okay, and also I feel like I did say this before, but I'm going to say it again. Do not sleep late, because your body relies on rest after all of that studying. Okay, so if you're studying for like hours on end, I feel, or like days even, try and sleep early, because your brain needs a rest. Okay, next one is probably going to be so relatable for everyone, including me, trust me. And I struggle with this, not gonna lie, and that is procrastination. Procrastination is going to impact how you do well in your tests, because if you're not going to study and you're still going to start procrastinating, you're kind of wasting your time, to be honest. So yeah, try not to procrastinate. I know there's a few apps and websites you can use to stop procrastination. I can't remember them off my head, but look for apps that can block websites for you in a certain amount of time, like social media or like anything like that. Though you do need self-discipline to use those apps. So yeah, something you need to also learn is self-discipline. I think that's a very important life skill in general as well. Okay, next one is not going to apply to everyone, but might be helpful for some people, and that is to not read quietly in your head, obviously. Your brain actually probably functions better when you're speaking out loud, because you're listening the information in your ears. So yeah, try reading it out loud or like practicing it like a speech. That's kind of like that's how I like to memorize things, is reading things like it's a speech. And yeah, I feel like reading it out loud would help your brain remember, oh, I remember I said that. Sorry guys, the camera cut out. I think that's all the study tips I have for you guys. Yes, this is gonna be the end. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It would be greatly appreciated, and it will let me know that you guys like things school related. So yeah, if you want to subscribe to my channel and look at more videos, you can subscribe up here. It's free. And if you want to see my previous video, which is going to be part 1, you can look down there. And yeah, I think that's it. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!